Warren Buffett. I'm a car guy too. 19 years ago when I was 4, my aunt gave me this inspiringly awesome piggy bank treasure chest, and it was empty. So I asked her, can I have a penny? And so she laughed and said, okay, and then she gave me a penny. And then my mom comes around the corner and she sees this, she goes, no! And I took the penny and I stuck it in the piggy bank. That's when I was 4, so she took me back around the corner and she said, no, you don't do that. You've got to have a business to get that. So at 4, that was enough to get me to set an overarching goal to get rich by 21 by starting a business. And it was everything to me. So fast forward till a later date. Now I'm, after 9 different jobs, I have just started a business. I've got 130 players in my video game clan, and I've been paying them for over a year, to work on the castle, which most people don't understand. I know you'd be able to understand, Warren. Most people, they're not able to grasp that, there was a lot I was able to take from paying, having 130 people and paying a lot of them to work on a castle every single week. That's 4 hours of their time on top of school, on top of working. Each line is another person doing another week. Wow. So while working full time and being the overlord of 130 people, having a car, having a girlfriend, between all of that, I nearly died. I was able to get 15 minutes of sleep during the work week. It was really intense, and so I learned, because I didn't know to make managers. I learned too late to go out of my way to make managers, and so that's when I learned the most important thing, I think. I don't know whether this is true or not, but it's at least good to think this, at least, I think. The most important thing in business is good managers. That's what I think, that's what I tell everyone. I tell them about how if I go to the bank for a $5 million SBA loan, they check my management team, and if my management team sucks, they don't give me the loan. If you don't have managers, the more people you get, the less sleep you get. So I made sure, here's the key, I made sure when I quit video games for my business 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, every single employee I decided would learn leadership from day 1. And that is pretty cool. So as you can imagine, that kind of evolved over time from just tossing, a Dale Carnegie book to them, to going from auto detailing to the auto appearance industry, and then automotive everything, and then plumbing, and then electrician, and I set my goal 19 years ago to get rich by 21 owning a business, and I've had a business for 2 years now. So one thing I've learned is that there's a leadership trait, and it's the same thing as being a born leader. It's mind-blowing. You can have it under the surface and not know it, but it's I can tell. It's if someone is a leader of themselves, it's the same thing as being a born leader. It's outside of that, they have to come to the conclusion that they want to lead other people. If they're a leader of themselves, if they start projects where they work, or they see something wrong, they try to fix it. If I've heard the words, if a crime is committed in front of a group of people, the chances of them even calling 911 goes up dramatically if there's a leader within the circle. Like me, I chased bank robbers and caught them. I'm gonna let that sink in. 4 of them. Let's see. Where was I? So yeah, and I would tell everyone, that I would go. Like I'd urge them to take up to try to become like managers, good managers. Like it kind of surprised me how few people like thought managers were important. So it turned out something that I think is interesting and kind of cool, and like I know I'm gonna hop into the deep end or the hot end or whatever by saying this, but I learned that like 6 out of the 10 people that 6 out of every 10 that I would find out actually would go and try to become managers and would become managers was women. And it was like I decided that it's a fact that women are highly susceptible to leadership, which is pretty freaking cool. Because every person in my business is going to have, they're going to be learning leadership from day one. So that's awesome. Now, I am going to be paying everyone in my business is $17 an hour. I'm going to be hiring them 4 days a week. They're all going to be working in like pairs sort of each day. One person will kind of lead, the other one will follow. But before work, I'm going to give a little speech every day on one thing on leadership. So just everything goes smoothly. And then I know Blake Nordstrom says the best leaders at Nordstrom were the ones with the most diverse experiences, the most mentors, the most ups and downs, and the biggest learnings came from the toughest innings. And so that's kind of, I'm implementing that. Because each day I would go to work, I'd be the bottom, I'd be the register, the cashier guy. And then I'd see the things that my boss did right at Shell, and then at the service station. And then I'd go home and I was at the very top, and I was like the overlord, with all the people, and it was really, I got to take away a lot from that. But anyways, so I'm able to get people to become managers. I'm actually able to see, I can tell, once you know these things, you go back and you see your friends and they're just covered in the leadership trait, and it's just, they're dripping in it. It's ridiculous and it's awesome. Yeah, I've put a lot of effort into making sure, after 9 different jobs, in the last place I worked, they called me twice over 6 months, said, if you come back, we'll let you operate your auto detailing business on the lot, on the clock, which is huge. And I ended up taking that up on them even, but I can't even afford a printer. So I tried, and I was not really able to, even with my income, I wasn't able to, my people can't even afford rent. And so that's what morphed into me wanting to pay every employee $17 an hour, the tipping point. So that hit a point where it was I had been planning to start every kind of business and make little almost give business discounts to the employees, and so I'd have houses and apartments and all that I'm renting out, and that just I'd give discounts to employees to the point where it's there's no point in not taking up that offer. And then having a fatty village, dude, it was so cool. You have no idea. This isn't even notes. This is just a map that I had made, with numbers on it. That says 29. That's 29 different houses. It's cool. There's a lot of things you can do with leverage and with making $1,000 every day per 3 employees. But anyways, I know for you, your stakeholders are the most important, and for me, it's kind of like the same thing, except for like I care about my employees. Like I care about the customers, and I also care about like my employees. Like that's it. It was about them after a certain point. And then I remember seeing in the paper that, like, I mean, my goals were only like a few years out. Then I see in the paper like that Burger King had bought, was like moving their headquarters to Canada. I remember like knowing somehow in some way Canada was some sort of like good place. And then like I had learned that Burger King was moving their headquarters to Canada for tax purposes. So I just decided, okay, so I really need a new goal. My goals are only like 8 years out. I'll start a city in Canada. I'm eligible for dual citizenship. I've got 3 friends in Canada from the clan who we work really well together. I have to give a shout out to Amy and to Darren, because they both put $5 in my crowdfunding thing, because I'm trying to make sure I can save my perfect credit history, because that's so big. That's so big. It's 765 at 23, and I have to have that in order to start my businesses. And to get them bigger. You can't do as much without being able to afford a printer as you can with leverage, and I'm pretty sure that you and your stakeholders understand that, and I hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so but then my goals were still only like 10 years out. I mean, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I know it couldn't not be done. So that's enough. And then a slideshow came out that was intended to get people to want to try to help out the world. And then that convinced me from saying, like, I'm just going to, like, stay within my city and not expand, to, like, okay, I'll save every person in the world with him. Now, I have this problem, or it's a gift, I don't know. I have this ability to dream bigger than most celebrated people. And so I'm going for the big fish. I'm going for the top, the one who, like if it can't be done with Warren Buffett, like then I'm the top. I'm the best, the biggest dreamer. There's no one that can see beyond my vision. But that's I hope I'm wrong. I don't, because I need help. So I'm going to ask you, so what we're trying to do is bring food, water, shelter, electricity, medicine, and education to every person in the world. That's what's going on right now. That's what the people who are trying to save the world are doing right now. Now, I don't think that is going to be as doable as if we shoot higher. I'm really, really, like, I've been studying, like, mindfulness, human behavior. I'm a bit too fearless, but, like, I'm pretty sure that I'm able to figure it out, and it's going to get figured out entirely soon. I want to put it in a book that people can they'll learn. But also, at some point in the future, I want to make it so I can get every person in the world will have an electric motorcycle. It's going to be probably about a $2 trillion deal, and then the increased productivity, I'll probably make it back in about 2 weeks. So, fundamental living costs, I have them written down. It's like, you got to be able to afford rent, utilities, you've got to be able to afford, like, the minimum requirements for, like, humanity the ability to do 720p video anywhere in the dwelling, like no lagging, no excuses at all. Food, let's see. You got to be able to make your monthly payments. Just the real simple, fundamental things. You've got to be able to have a vehicle. And then the ability to pursue one passion over time. If this is possible, then our productivity off the clock goes up by hundreds of times. Like 861 is the amount of times like more productive someone is if they have both the ability to pursue a passion and they make a living. It's unbelievable. And like, go down the street and look at the man next to you and ask yourself, am I more than 860 times as capable as that man? You'd say yes. Let's see. Now, food, sleep, and exercise, those are just the other branches of having to be healthy. So this is like, if this right here, that is health. If you knock all of these out, there's this weird threshold where our cells work two different ways. That was originally what this was meant for. If this is shot for, like, so every person that works can make that in 4 days a week, this is like so simple, it's so easy. But if only that is shot for, every problem in humanity stays, and then nothing works. Everything is wrong, and it'll never happen. So, I'm asking that you help me out so I can, because you have the power, like, every day that you, like, kind of push, like, saving the world, like, every day that you kind of, like, make it happen sooner is 20,000 lives, like, children under the age of 5 dying, like, really stupid preventable deaths. So if you can make a goal to try to make all the money you can, and then help me out, and then at some point in the future, I might ask you for help again when I go from just trying to, like, start every type of business to, like, the point where I'm ready to, like, try to start a city. Maybe I might, like, save time by asking for your help. And I don't know whether that'll be about $10 billion or $1 billion, but, you know, it'll be a very good use of money. Because I don't think there's going to be, like, plumbing and electrician and, like, architecture and every single thing just sitting out in the middle of nowhere, like where they're not able to do this kind of stuff. Like, imagine for shelter, imagine, like, depot buckets, like, but they're houses, and they're stacked up on top of each other. They've got every single item in them, like spatulas, plungers, like, all that stuff. Every type of tool that you need to be able to achieve, and just a solar panel or two, little, like, Game Boy type things that, like, have cartridges that teach you how to do something that is useful, like plumbing to the point where you need, like, it's not going to be as hard to do plumbing in the future, and it's going to be made so things work better. And that's just, it's so simple. It goes beyond what most people's, like, vision of what's possible is. But once you shoot higher and higher, like, it gets a lot easier. It's just, our perception is like that. You know, if you try and get it, like, so people only have the basics, like, the amount of effort, but you keep shooting higher so people can start doing stuff with themselves, it just